Let's talk about structured versus unstructured table rows. So far we've really only used structured table rows. A structured table row has a certain number of columns, and each column is horizontally adjacent to another column, or a text shape. Unstructured rows, on the other hand, allow for a greater degree of freedom on where we place our text shapes. Let's start by going to the Design panel, and double-click on the Details row. There are two ways to make a row unstructured. First, you can come down to the Property Inspector, and the Structured Columns property, you can go ahead and set that to false, or you can click on this little white icon with some lines through it. Note that you can toggle it back and forth between structured and unstructured. Now that this row is unstructured, I'm going to go ahead and drag the Details row down, and I can place these text shapes wherever I want within the row. If we take a look in the preview mode, you'll see that the line is much higher than whatever the associated weekly downtime is for it. The only exception here are lines 4 and 5. The reason for this is that these rows are currently using a different row version. So it's important to note that any configuration changes made to a row are specific to the row version. Let's go back to the Design tab. Next, let's add an image to our header. I'm going to double-click on the header row, as well as make this unstructured. I'm going to drag this down to give myself a little more room. I'm going to go ahead and select both of my text shapes, move them down. And now I'm going to go ahead and add an image. So I'm going to use our image management tool. So in the Designer, I'm going to go to Tools, Image Management. And we got this handy little logo here. I'm going to go ahead and just drag him over. And note that I'm placing the image inside the header. I'm going to place that right there. And let's take a look in the preview mode. So you note that our entire header, so the image along with our line and weekly downtime text shapes are included. And they're also on each page. Now let's say you want to place an image into the header row, but don't want the image to be redrawn on every page. There's a property for that. Let's go back to the Design tab, and we'll double-click on the header row. And in the Property Inspector, we'll scroll all the way down to the bottom. You'll see there's this reprint one wrapped property. If we set that to false, we'll only see our header on the first page. So if we go back to preview, there's our header, but it's not on our last page.